Mostly yes. As eating patterns go, the Mediterranean diet is one of the best studied in all of nutrition, and the evidence consistently links it to a lower risk of several cancers. So if you have been wondering whether it lives up to the hype, the honest answer is that it holds up better than almost anything else out there. Stay with me for the next few minutes, and I will walk you through what this way of eating actually is, what the research really shows, why it seems to work, and how you can start without moving to the coast of Greece. First, let's be clear about what we are talking about, because the Mediterranean diet is not one food and it is not a strict set of rules. It is a pattern. The foundation is plants, so vegetables, fruits, beans, lentils, nuts, and whole grains show up at most meals. Extra virgin olive oil is the main fat, used generously for cooking and drizzling. Fish is the main animal protein, appearing 2 or 3 times a week. Red meat becomes an occasional food rather than a daily one, and processed meat mostly fades out of the picture. Meals are simple and mostly home-cooked. That is the whole idea, and it matters that it is a pattern, because no single ingredient carries the benefit on its own. So what does the research actually show? Large studies that follow people for many years find, again and again, that the more closely people eat this way, the lower their risk of certain cancers. The strongest links are with colorectal cancer, where higher adherence is associated with about a 14% lower risk, and breast cancer, where the reduction is around 6%. The pattern has also been linked to lower risk of stomach cancer, liver cancer, and cancers of the head and neck. Now, those numbers might sound modest to you, and honestly, that is part of why I trust them. Real effects in nutrition are usually modest and steady, and they add up quietly over a lifetime of meals. I want to be upfront that most of this evidence is observational, which means researchers watched what people ate and what happened next, rather than assigning diets at random. That kind of research cannot prove cause and effect on its own. But we do have supported trial data. In a large Spanish trial called PRE-DIMED, people were randomly assigned to a Mediterranean diet enriched with extra virgin olive oil, roughly 4 tablespoons a day, or to a lower fat control diet. The women in the olive oil group went on to develop invasive breast cancer at roughly 60% the rate of the control group. Breast cancer was a secondary outcome in that trial, and the number of cases was small, so we hold that result gently. Still, it points in the same direction as everything else we have. Why would this pattern lower cancer risk? Several reasons make good biological sense. All those beans, whole grains, and vegetables deliver fiber, and your gut bacteria turn that fiber into a compound called butyrate that helps keep the cells lining your colon healthy. Extra virgin olive oil brings polyphenols like hydroxytyrosol and oiocanthal, which calm inflammation, and chronic inflammation is fertile ground for cancer. Plant foods supply antioxidants and folate that help protect your DNA. And just as important, this way of eating crowds out processed meat, which contains nitrites that can form compounds capable of damaging DNA. A few honest caveats. People who eat this way also tend to exercise more, smoke less, and have better access to good food, and studies cannot fully untangle all of that. This is also a pattern for prevention, not a treatment for cancer, and no diet can promise that you will never face this disease. What it can do is shift your odds in the right direction. So how do you start? You do not need a passport, just a few swaps. Make extra virgin olive oil your main cooking fat. Add vegetables to one more meal each day. Trade refined grains for whole grain versions. Put beans on the menu twice a week, and move red meat toward a once-a-week food. Pick one change, let it become normal, then add the next. You do not have to be perfect, and you do not have to change everything by Friday. Every meal that leans a little more Mediterranean is a small, real investment in your future health, and those small investments are the ones that pay off.